Rand Paul is continuing his campaign to end the NSA's programs of bulk collection of metadata for your phone calls, for your emails, things of that sort. But along the way, he's getting a few very basic facts about those programs 100% wrong. Let's take a look at Rand Paul explaining himself here.
Well, here's the thing about the president. He's disingenuous about this. The president started this program through executive order. He could end it any time. The Second Court of Appeals, the court that is right below the Supreme Court, said that it's illegal. Why doesn't he stop it? What's he waiting for? He says, oh, Congress can stop it. He started it on his own. He should stop it. And I've asked the president repeatedly, stop the program.
So there's Rand Paul. It's extremely simple. Obama set it up, apparently. He can knock it down. Something seems wrong about that, though.
Really? Obama set up the NSA program? I mean, I was pretty sure that Bush also did it. No?
Yeah, I thought the order that gives the NSA broad spying authority was implemented in 1981 under President Ronald Reagan. The government has been collecting bulk metadata since the Bush administration, a program authorized under Section 215 of the Patriot Act, that extremely controversial section that we would like to see lapse on June 2nd, I believe. Now, in 2011, Obama reauthorized certain provisions in the Patriot Act that allowed for bulk data collection. That is true. Last year, Obama announced that he would curb some aspects of the NSA's metadata program. And we have seen already certain provisions of the Patriot Act are going to expire on June 2nd, even if 215 and other extremely controversial parts of it are renewed. So he's partially right about that. He might even be partially right about how it could be dismantled, perhaps by an executive order. But he is completely wrong to say that Obama, if that is what he's trying to say, that Obama set it up in the first place, that is insanity, and he should know better.
Look, he's wrong about that, and we've already determined he's wrong about that, but I think that's such a small part of what he's saying, and honestly, I don't care who started it.
Really?
I really don't. I think what he's saying overall is correct, and I think Obama is being disingenuous about, getting rid of some elements of the NSA program. If he really wanted to do it, he could do it. I mean, keep in mind, this is the same president who murdered a U.S. citizen abroad, along with his 16-year-old son, with no
repercussions?
No repercussions, right? So if you can take another human life, a U.S. citizen, and not have to face any consequences for it, why is it so difficult for you to do something about the NSA program through an executive order?
I largely agree with Anna. I think that it's ridiculous that he thinks the Patriot Act was started under Obama. That's obviously not true. John's right about that. But the heart of the argument is, can President Obama do something about this? Well, he can, because, I mean, look, he did something about immigration through executive orders. Now, mind you, the Republicans flipped out about that, including Rand Paul. Right? So there's a little bit of irony there. And it's a complicated issue. He can't just say unilaterally, I'm not going to enforce any of the laws that I don't like because I'm the executive. So it's not a cut and dry case. But overall, is President Obama on the side of the NSA doing bulk collection? Absolutely, positively. He has been for his entire administration. Rand Paul has been against it. So in the end, Rand Paul is right and Obama is wrong. Rand Paul trying to block this in the Senate, wonderful. I disagree with him on 90% of other stuff, but here he's absolutely right, and President Obama is overall absolutely wrong.
Yeah, and apparently not apologetic about it. I mean, they had Loretta Lynch come out just last week and say that she worries for the safety of Americans if it were allowed to lapse. She's so worried about it. On the same day that the Department of Justice's report came out showing that they could not point to one major case where the bulk collection had actually led to direct intelligence that helped them to crack that case. On the same day. So Obama can make little changes around the periphery, around the edges of this law if he wants to. That's all well and good. But he still fundamentally believes that this is within the constitutional authority of the executive branch of the government, something that I disagree with him on. I assume Rand Paul does as well. I feel weird attacking Rand Paul, even in this limited sense, when we do largely agree with him and when he is one of the few voices who's actually speaking out in a consistent and principled way about this bulk collection program. But at the same time, I feel like all too often political discussions, especially online, are so devoid of even the most basic information about who did what. And presidents are allowed to not get the blame for putting into effect terrible policies, going into terrible wars, that perhaps I just unnecessarily focus on the correct identification of who did it.
Yeah,
and he does that, of course, because he wants Republicans to think it's all Obama's fault. And we're not unaware of the politics of that, especially as he runs for president on the Republican side, of course, it was started by George Bush. I mean, originally by Reagan, as you pointed out, but really under the Patriot Act and the abuses started under Bush when he famously said, "Oh no, whenever we get in people's information, we need a warrant for that." And then later said, "Okay, we don't. We're just kidding. We're
And
lying."
we could get one easily if we wanted to, but ain't nobody got time for that.
If only he had that
Effectively
magic
said.
wand and he could just say, warrant.
Right, but and-
Lower standards.
Right. Now, look, having said that, once again, we always criticize Republicans for pretending to be in favor of the Constitution, screaming Constitution from the rooftops, but actually completely ignoring the Constitution. Here's a case where you have a Republican, a libertarian, saying the Fourth Amendment matters. You cannot do this without a proper warrant. You can't assume all the American people are guilty. Look into their records and get their information without having, passing the constitutional muster that the Fourth Amendment demands. He's absolutely right about that.
And it's refreshing to hear a politician argue in favor of the Fourth Amendment, because oftentimes you don't hear politicians do that. They want as much power as possible. They want to spy on us as much as possible. And as we've said on the show multiple times, when you know the government has that kind of ability, you're not going to want to stir the pot or be politically active. You know that they're going to come after you with information that might not be so pleasant, right?
Yeah. Or even if not you, perhaps some politician who would be good for your interests might have his career shut down or killed before it even begins because of the chilling effect of these sorts of programs.